going down, YouTube fam? It's your boy Zany Payne, and it's about to get lit. Cause it's the No Cap Hour. And you know what that means. I'm gonna be bringing you the craziest speculation about who's the wackest in the game right now. I'm gonna be speaking on the culture, only the negative parts of course, and throwing in a ton of unnecessary video and sound effects every second. Shout out to everybody that knows I'm just gonna sit here and deliver my content in a dry, sarcastic, and straightforward way. Appreciate you for sticking with me over the years, because I'm not that YouTube personality that's super, you know. Today I want to talk about cheap beats. Are cheap beats ruining production? Are they devaluing production? Are they hurting the economy of beat selling? Let's be honest, you're not gonna find these videos anywhere else. Why? Because I make them. So it would really help me out if you subscribe. If you've already subscribed, what also really helps is if you like the video and leave a comment. It's hard in the era of clickbait videos on YouTube and negativity in the producer community, and I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. I've been getting tagged in a lot. I'm sure a lot of people have been noticing these bulk deals. A lot of people think it's the norm now, or it's just the new thing. Maybe it is, I don't know. We see the Facebook ads, 20 beats for $9.99. And if you read the comments, you see a lot of producers expressing their concern about this beat selling method. It's bringing down the value of beats, it's devaluing the art, and it's essentially poisoning the well and preventing other producers from making money when they have to compete with these super cheap beat bundles. I mean, $9.99 for 20 beats, you do the math, that's dirt cheap. Now, if you don't see the parallel between these ClickFunnels bulk deals that are happening now and what started happening in the early 2000s with SoundClick, low price beat leasing, along with the buy one get two free bulk deals, you are lying to yourself. Because trust me, back then, back in 2001, 2002, people were mad about beat leasing. People said it devalued the art, it devalued beats, it was a fad, it wouldn't last, it wasn't sustainable. And I know this is how people were feeling because I was one of those people who was a big vocal critic of beat licensing up until pretty recently, probably 5-6 years ago. Beat licensing has been around since at least, I'd say 2000. Probably before that. I forget when I first started seeing beats on mp3.com. Let's just say 2001 for the sake of argument. Well, 7 years after that, I got my first major placement out of nowhere. People had been leasing beats for at least 7 years at that point. Didn't affect me. So who was wrong? Me and the rest of Team Anti-Change, or the SoundClick producers who were selling, quote, cheap beats, unquote, who made great music, built up huge brands, got placements, made a ton of money, and created a pretty amazing legacy for themselves? I think we know the answer to that question. So let's zoom out a little bit. I don't know what this means. I think how this mentality begins is this notion of oversaturation. The producer game, period, in the industry or whatever, it's oversaturated. Everyone's making beats. Of course, everyone's making beats. It's fun. People want to make beats. Forget the fact that everyone is using a computer and people in IT don't seem threatened, or everyone's playing basketball and people in the NBA don't seem fazed by that. Everyone's making beats. The technology is accessible. It's cheap. 25 years ago, it wasn't this inexpensive. 25 years ago, you had to invest tons of money just to get the MPC and just to get the sequencer and just to get the keyboard, if you were lucky. And so a lot of producers who went through that struggle saw the software era coming in and they felt threatened by that. In the same way that industry producers who were used to these 5-figure advances participating in, a lot of them participated in the rat race of the placement game, same way they felt threatened by beat leasing. And so when you feel, threatened by something, what do? You want it gone, so you talk about it in a negative way. So today we have this saturation mentality. I don't watch or read Gary Vee. I'm sorry, I know that's like a sin for somebody, especially somebody like me, to be unaware of all of the wealth of information that Gary Vee gives out. I'm sorry, but I always hear about the people who are fans of Gary Vee talk about this, and I don't know if this is his concept, but I think it is connected with him, or it's something that he preaches a lot. Scarcity versus abundance mindsets. What is saturation? What does it mean in practical terms? People say that the producer game is saturated. What does that mean? Just a bunch of people are producing? that a bunch of people are competing for the same customer base on the internet. Yeah, sure, that's probably the case. Does that mean that selling beats is impossible? No, you're crazy if you think it is. I was skeptical when I first started. I didn't think that I could get to the point that I'm at now, and I want to talk about all of the kind of the psychological changes that I went through as I moved along that journey. That's for a separate video though, because it is interesting, because I was on the other side of the fence and now I'm over here. But in practical terms, what does it mean that the online beat leasing space is saturated? That it's harder to make sales, that you need to stand out more and you have to work harder in order to stand out more, that you need to be better than the next person who's competing for the same customers. And when I say better, I mean musically, in terms of customer service, in terms of consistency, in terms of visual branding. Yeah, it probably means all of that. Does that make people angry? Are you scared to put in more effort? Are you afraid to give a better experience for the people who are spending their hard-earned money funding your production dreams? I think that's something to consider. This whole idea of the field being saturated is something that I really hear people in the producer community, in the DIY music community talk about all the time as this deterrent, this reason for them to not try. You don't see that really in other fields. So I think a lot of people believe that because the game is saturated, that's the reason beat licensing prices are so low, and therefore it's just this race to the bottom. All these producers are competing with one another. They're selling beats for dirt cheap. It's not going anywhere. They don't want to get involved. And it's shocking to see these Facebook advertisements for 20 beats for $9.99, because a lot of us wouldn't even sell a beat license, one beat license for $9.99. So those of us who have a negative reaction to this are probably thinking, well, these beats must be trash, that you're selling beats for pennies, that they're just trying to get fast money. Let me just break those ideas down too, because I understand why people think that. So the beats must be trash. Let's be realistic. If you make beats the way I make beats, you have thousands of beats just sitting around doing nothing. And that's a big reason why I like licensing beats online, period, because when I was just focused on placements, that was a numbers game. Everything's a numbers game when we're talking about this kind of stuff. But if I'm sending out beats every single day, maybe 5% of them, 10% are getting used, and even fewer of them are getting released. As an artist, and we're sensitive, that hurts. The work that we put in is going unnoticed. I have a back catalog of thousands of beats that nobody's ever heard, that have never been published. I'm just gonna let them sit. If I wanna do a bulk deal, that doesn't mean they're trash beats. The second notion is that you're selling your beats for, pennies, and you hear people say, wow, 1,000 beats for 99 cents, that's crazy. No one's doing that. That would be pretty crazy. It's just impractical. You're not selling your beats, you're licensing them. So, if you don't know the difference right now, then I'm not going to waste my time. And then a lot of people think it's a money grab. You're just trying to get fast money. Is it a money grab for some people? Absolutely. I think anything can be a money grab for a person who's short-sighted and ignorant. Are there people who are short-sighted and ignorant in the producer community? Yeah. But as someone who has, talked with the people who are at kind of the forefront of this sales funnel strategy, these are just entry points for building deeper relationships with customers. The end goal is not to sell a package of beats for a price. The end goal is to connect with artists and provide value to them, which is just a very basic marketing concept, and then create something long-term with these customers. And I think a lot of people think beat leasing period is just a money grab. That stupid ass beat leasing is killing hip hop video, or the type beats is killing hip hop video that the little kid dude put out recently that I responded to. That was one of his points, that the only reason to make type beats is to get some fast money. No, a lot of us really love making beats, and we really love music, and we really love the culture, and we want to give something of value in exchange for a really low price, and hope that develops a relationship, and we continue that relationship, and because we're making good music, and because we're providing a good customer experience, that in the long run it works out for us. Now I'm gonna say something kind of harsh, because a lot of people are complaining about all this stuff. A lot of people are complaining that these beat bundles, 99 cents for 10 beats is ruining the viability of the online beat market. Let's be 100% honest. The people that are complaining about the ClickFunnels weren't selling beats before ClickFunnels became big. People complaining about buy one, get one free beat license deals weren't selling beats before buy one, get three free beat licensing deals were a thing. So why all of the fear? Are these marketing tactics, these buy one, get three free, 20 beats for $9.99, how are they affecting people? My answer is they're not. I mean, do they affect me? I'm in this space. I haven't seen my customers abandon me because someone over here is selling a beat bundle 20 for $9.99. And I'm since we're being harsh, since I'm being harsh and saying what I feel to be harsh realities, let me give myself a reality check. I'm very critical of spammers and spam tactics, and I've even said, you know, these people out here, you know, sending mass emails and doing all this stupid, deceptive, scammy stuff just to try to sell beats, posting their beat links and begging for people to buy their beats on every single Instagram post and tweet. I've said that they're bringing the producer community down. I'll be honest with you. They're not affecting me either, I don't think. Not in any real substantial way. Maybe in the grand scheme of things, there are some people who are turned off by these tactics, but for the most part, they only affect the people who are doing them. There may be some recording artists out there that are turned off by a beat bundle that appears, you know, too low price. But there are certainly a lot who aren't. There are certainly a lot who would appreciate that and who would try it out and maybe develop a new relationship with a new producer that they wouldn't have otherwise been able to work with just because they weren't familiar enough with that producer to spend money with that producer. And now because the beat bundle is reasonably priced and they feel like they're getting a lot of value for their money, they're trying it out. Now, is 100 beats for $10? Because this is kind of the exaggeration people make, and I'm sure there are producers out there who are selling 100 beat packages for $10. Is that smart? Probably not. And the mistake that anybody can make with any kind of beat deal is making it transactional, making it this one-time thing. If your goal is simply to sell that $10 package and just make $10 as often as you can, that's not sustainable. So should you just jump into the beat selling world and give away some kind of deal like this without any plan, without understanding what a funnel is, without having good customer service in place, without having an upsell, without having some kind of follow-up via an email drip or whatever? Probably not. If I sound like I'm speaking a foreign language right now, start at the beginning and grow from there, because the real value in a big bulk deal for a low price is not closing that sale once. It's not just making that money off that one customer and then moving on to the next. I mean, you shouldn't be treating people like that anyway, but from experience, that's not what you want to do in this scenario. As somebody who's been doing this professionally for 12 years and who was making beats, you know, before tight beats were even a term, I've seen a lot of these trends come. I've seen a lot of the panic arise from these particular sales trends. And I have yet to see any one of them cripple the producer community financially in any kind of profound or permanent way. Even in superficial ways, I honestly haven't seen it. I haven't been affected by it. My peers haven't been affected by it. So instead of immediately reacting, or instead of looking at the landscape as too saturated to even get into, I'd say yes, look at it as full of competition, but also full of opportunities for you to look at what other people are doing and frankly do better, or at least do it differently in your own way, and then learning what all of your options are, because there are so many different avenues for producers right now, more than there ever have been, and you can pick and choose what to focus on. What works for the next person over here might not work for you. Just because it's challenging, just because it's unknown at the moment, that doesn't mean it's impossible, and that doesn't mean it's something that you shouldn't try if you truly want to. So much success to you. Stay safe, stay healthy. I don't know if your states are open yet. Mine is not. Even if it were, I'd still be right here in the studio avoiding human contact. So subscribe. I'm so close to 100,000. I'm like 13,000 away, which I guess in the grand scheme of things isn't that many, but I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Much success to you. Peace.